Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 333-720. Second case is cause number 333-860. Both cases are styled as State of Texas versus Ethrin W. Edwards. Mr. Edwards is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Edwards, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Edwards, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Edwards?
I'm doing all right, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Edwards, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Jack Lawrence. Attorney Lawrence, how are you doing?
Just fine, Your Honor.
Mr. Lawrence, do you waive a record in Mr. Edwards' cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Edwards, in cause number 333-720, I have before me an information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about July 20th of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Edwards, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Edwards, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest?
Now, Mr. Edwards, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I have before me another document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document also is labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. I'm going to show you this document that's on this tablet. Mr. Edwards, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials EE that are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Mr. Edwards, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir, I did.
And Mr. Edwards, on the next page of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Mr. Edwards, is this your signature?
Yes, sir, that is my signature.
On the next page, Mr. Edwards, or the next, the next document. The next document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Edwards, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir, it is.
There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Second box states, the second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, did you sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, Mr. Edwards, before you sign and initial all of the documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that Mr. Lawrence went over?
Yes, sir, I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir, it is.
Mr. Edwards, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State's Exhibit number 2, the proper cause affidavit, which is in the court's file. State, would you like to offer States 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers States 1 and States 2.
Any objections, Mr. Lawrence?
No objection, Your Honor.
No objection. States Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Lawrence, you have advised and counseled Mr. Edwards. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None at all, Your Honor.
Mr. Edwards, your attorney, Mr. Lawrence, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the finished plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 30 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the defendant be given credit for the 30 days he has already spent in jail, making this a time-served plea agreement, Your Honor. We're asking that the court use the time served to both tax and retire the court costs in this case, Your Honor. And lastly, I will note that Mr. Edwards did have another case, cause number 333-860, that the state has moved to dismiss as part of Mr. Edwards' plea and felony case number 23-41283.
Okay. Mr. Edwards, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail in this case because you've already served 30 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you will be given credit for the time that you've already served in jail. The court cost in this case is $292, but you would not have to pay the $292 because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Now, Mr. Edwards, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir, I do.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Edwards, you previously pled guilty in a felony case, and pursuant to that felony plea bargain agreement, this case, your next case, cause number 333-860, will be dismissed. And so the court will be dismissing that case as well. Now, Mr. Edwards, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
You think the state's offer in your case is fair and just? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Edwards, this will conclude your cases. If you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. Please knock on the door, follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
Your Honor, if there are any other court costs that come up, Mr. Edwards would be indigent for those purposes because he lives at home with his parents, and his father is retired. So there's no way he would be indigent if that issue ever arose.
I don't know. All of the court costs was taxed and retired.
Yes, Your Honor, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Edwards, please knock on the door. Excuse me, Mr. Not Edwards. Yeah, Mr. Edwards, would you please knock on the door and follow the bailiff? And Mr. Lawrence, this will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Malcolm Mitchell. Malcolm Mitchell. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 2 cases. Both cases are style of State of Texas versus Malcolm Jamal Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Mitchell, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mitchell, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Mitchell?
Good.
That's good. Now, Mr. Mitchell, you're represented in your case by your attorney Tom Burbank, who is also appearing via Zoom. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
Well, if I could ever get the camera to come on, Judge, you'll see my smiling face, but I'm doing absolutely fine.
Okay. Mr. Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Mitchell's cases?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, in cause number 330680, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about July 27th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fugitive from justice. Mr. Mitchell, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Mitchell, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contents.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Sir.
Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. This document is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. I have this document on this tablet. Mr. Mitchell, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Mitchell, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's titled Nola Contendere, which means no contest. There are 2 sets of initials. First set of initials is initials TB, which is your attorney initial, and the second set of initials is MM. Mr. Mitchell, did you place your initials next to your attorney's initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Mitchell, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Mitchell, is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mitchell, I also have before me another document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Mitchell, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mitchell, did you sign a document on paper out there that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Mitchell, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Burbank, go over these documents with you? Did your
Yes, sir.
attorney, Mr. Burbank, okay, and did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers States 1, and State would also offer State Exhibit Number 2 as well, Your Honor, the probable cause affidavit. And we ask the court to take judicial notice of the affidavit in the court's file.
Objections to State's exhibits, Judge.
No objection. State's Exhibits Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2 or admitted. Court will take judicial notice of State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit. Mr. Burbank, you have advised and counseled Mr. Mitchell in this case. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Burbank, I will accept Mr. Mitchell, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 80 days, Your Honor. We're asking that the defendant be given credit for the 80 days he has already spent in jail, making this a time-served plea agreement, Your Honor. We're asking that the court use that time served to both tax and retire the court costs. And lastly, Your Honor, this case is to run concurrent with the companion case number 330936.
Mr. Mitchell, the state is offering that you serve 80 days in the Jefferson County Jail. On this case, however, you would not be required to serve any more time in jail in this case because you have already served 80 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $447, but you will not be required to pay the $447 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. And this case will run concurrent with cause number 330936. Mr. Mitchell, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Mitchell, this will move on to your next case, and your next case is cause number 330936. And before me, I have an information that was also filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, it alleges that on or about July 27th of 2021, that you, Malcolm Jamal Mitchell, committed the class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a dangerous drug. Mr. Mitchell, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Mitchell, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir. Freely.
Are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mitchell, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Mr. Mitchell, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Mitchell, there are two sets of initials. One set is your attorney initials, TB. The other set is MM. Mr. Mitchell, these initials are on a line next to a box that's checked NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Mr. Mitchell, did you place your initials next to your attorney's initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Mitchell, did you place your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, Mr. Mitchell, this document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Mitchell, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are two boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mitchell, did you also sign a document out there on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Mitchell, before you signed and initialed all of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit, which is in the court's file as the PC or the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer States 1 and States 2.
Any
No
objections?
objections, states 1 and 2, Your Honor.
Objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. And Mr. Burbank, you have advised and counseled Mr. Mitchell in this case. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial in this case?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Mitchell, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has also represented you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mitchell, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt state. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state is recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 80 days, Your Honor. We're asking that defendant be given credit for the 80 days he has already been in jail, making this a time served plea agreement, Your Honor. We're asking that the court use that time served to both tax and retire the court costs in this case, Your Honor. And in this case is to run concurrent with companion case number 333720.
Okay, Mr. Mitchell, state is offering that you serve 80 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 80 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $387, but you would not be required to pay the $387 court cost because the time that you have spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Mitchell, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Mitchell, I will follow the plea bargaining agreements that you have made in this case, and I'll just repeat it. State is offering 80 days to be served in Jefferson County Jail. You're not required to serve any more time in Jefferson County Jail in this case because you already served 80 days in Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given time served. The court costs in this case of $387 will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay it because the time you spent in jail has already paid it off. In this case, we'll run concurrent with the companion case of clause number 330680. Now, Mr. Mitchell, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. This will conclude your cases. Please follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, this will conclude your cases. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I believe that the state dismissed Letitia Hunter that was set for today. Is that right, Lamar?
That's correct.
Okay, that
Thank
is
you.
correct. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day, Mr. Johnson. Thank you very much.
You too,
Okay.
Tom.
Have a nice day.
All right.
Yep.
All right. See you later, Mr. Mitchell. Next case is Brittany Sylvester. Brittany Sylvester.
Well,
Okay, Mr. Sylvester, okay, hello, just hold on a minute. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in 3 cases. The first case is cause number 331-418. Second case is cause number 331-542. And the third case is cause number 331-544. All three cases are style the state of Texas versus Brittany Cherie Sylvester. Ms. Sylvester, is that your full name?
Yes, Brittany Cherie Sylvester is my full name.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, now, Mr. Johnson and Mr. West, you can take your mics off of mute, and I thank Mr. Johnson, I made Mr. Johnson aware of this, a disclosure. Someone, I think, from Spindletop tried to, I guess, contact me to have a meeting regarding Ms. Sylvester. The person that contacted me, I did not respond to the request. I think the statement said, and I had my secretary, the court coordinator to read it, that they wanted to set a meeting up with me, well, with myself, I guess the person from Spindletop Center and Ms. Sylvester's mother. I did not respond to that request. I made that disclosure to Mr. Johnson and Mr. Colby Hoffmeyer. I want to say, was that last week? I think it was as a matter of fact, sometimes last week. It might have been Thursday when we was trying to have this case to go against. So I'm also making this disclosure to Mr. John West, who is the attorney for Ms. Sylvester. Now, if any party think there's a possible conflict of interest or an appearance of impropriety, and the court should recuse itself, the court will recuse itself. Now, state, you have any objections to me presiding over Ms. Sylvester's cases?
No objection, Your Honor, and the state would waive any arguments regarding conflict of interest in this case.
And Mr. West, do you have any objections to me presiding over Ms. Sylvester cases?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Sylvester, I have before me, again, three cases. First case is cause number 331-418. The second case is cause number 331-542. And the third case is cause number 331-544. Again, all three cases are style the state of Texas versus Brittany Cherie Sylvester. Ms. Sylvester, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Sylvester, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Ms. Sylvester, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Sylvester?
I'm blessed, thank you. I was very surprised to hear you say that someone contacted you regarding having a meeting with my mother, because I do not have a relationship with her and she is a child molester. So any opinion of hers is not for me.
Okay, well, I just, the court was making that disclosure to you, your attorney, as well as the district attorney's office. Now,
Okay.
Ms. Sylvester, I have before me in cause number 331-418, a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that on or about November 22nd of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Ms. Sylvester, do you understand what you've been charged with?
I do understand what I've been charged with.
Okay, and to this charge.
I'm sorry,
And to
Judge, go
this,
ahead, Your Honor.
okay, and to this charge, Ms. Sylvester, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead guilty.
Okay, now are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? In essence, are you?
That is of the three charges.
Let me know. Ms. Sylvester, just listen. I'm going over one charge at a time.
Okay,
So this charge, which is resisting arrest, search or transportation that allegedly occurred on or about November 22nd of 2021. Do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, I do.
And to discharge, how do you plead? Not guilty, guilty, or no contest?
I'm pleading guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
I am choosing to plead guilty.
Okay. Now, Ms. Sylvester, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. On this document, there's one box that's checked on page 1, and I'll just put this on the monitor. Do you recognize this document?
It does look similar to, I'm sorry, you said it's an admonishment document, is what you're saying?
That's the title of it, misdemeanor plea admonishment.
Okay,
Okay, do you recognize the document?
it does sound familiar if that is the one that says time served.
Well, let me do this here. Just listen. This document has a set of initials, BS, that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document? Right there by my finger.
I believe so. My lawyer,
Okay, right now, I'm just asking you, do you recognize your these initials?
of course, yes, yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
now, on page 3, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Do you recognize this signature?
Yes, I do.
And it is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Your
now
Honor.
on the next document, this document is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
I do not recognize
Is
this
that-
document, but
is-
this is
is
waiving
this-
my right to appeal, then yes.
Is this your signature?
Yes, it looks that way.
Okay, now, at the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that are checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand, Your Honor.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do understand.
Now, did you sign a document when you were with your attorney? Did you sign a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification? And I think
That particular, I'm sorry.
okay,
Go ahead.
I seemed like I saw your attorney moving. I thought he was gonna show you the paperwork or something. And do you remember signing the document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
No, the only 3 documents that I signed were regarding the 3 cause numbers, which is for misdemeanor.
Okay, Miss Sylvester, let me ask your attorney, Mr. West.
which is
Okay,
for-
Mr. West. He must have his mic. Is his mic on? It's okay. Mr. West. Yeah, Mr. West, John West.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'm in another courtroom right now. Hold on.
Okay. Do
Sorry.
you see, I asked her whether or not she signed a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification.
Yes, Your Honor. We signed that when I was out there a few weeks back.
Okay, now, Ms. Sylvester, do you remember that?
I remember visiting with him, I just didn't recall the exact title of the document. But
Okay.
what I do remember signing is for 3 cause numbers, which it was said that they would be time served. It was 2 resisting arrest and then 1 trespassing warrant. And I was told that for all 3.
Okay, now, Miss
Miss
Sylvester, the only document that I'm asking you about is the document that was titled Discovery Certification.
Okay,
And that basically is a document that states that your attorney received evidence. Matter of fact, there's a copy of one that the prosecutor is putting on the screen. Do you see that?
I do see that, but that I
But
did
no,
not.
that's-
sign.
No. That's just a blank form that he signed, that he's showing you because to see whether or not you signed the document similar to the one that he's showing you.
I don't
Your
recall, signing that.
Your attorney said that he provided that document to you and you signed it.
Okay, could you explain what discovery certification is? Because I
Let
don't
me-
remember signing that particular document.
Okay, let me-
However,
Your Honor, if we need to, we can reset it and I can go talk to her again. I mean, I was trying to get her out today, but if she wants to do this, we can reset it. I can go out to the jail again. We can reset it for next
Okay,
week.
Let me
if that's what we need to
do
do.
this here. I'm gonna give you, but she's just asking that it be explained to her what a discovery certification is.